everybody, welcome back. Here's some Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben. We haven't talked about Superman in a while, and so I was like, well, one Superman story does as badly as the other, so why not just do this one? And it's a weird one. I'm sorry. It's really weird.
Well, why'd you pick it?
Because I read this when we first started the channel, and I thought, oh, this will be fun.
What, 10 years ago?
Yeah. Back when I was like, oh, this will be fun, we'll try this. And
it's been on the back burner
And you were
since.
like, no.
yes, every week I went, no. And then eventually I just stopped thinking about it. And then we came back to it. You know,
And then we've just run out of books. We're like, all right, now we have no
Done
choice.
all the books.
How about Superman Infinite City? Like, I guess we've got to do this now. Like, no, we have not run out of books. This episode is not an indication that we have the
That
well
we're
has run
scraping the
dry.
bottom,
I
yeah.
promise.
For the love of God, subscribe.
Oh
to
God,
us.
don't leave.
Don't.
This is fun. And I was like, you know what? One of you will like it. Maybe. Probably.
Which one?
I assume it's going to be you, but we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're a sucker for the Jor-El stuff.
Oh,
so, you know,
okay. Interesting.
But you might
You
like
know
it
me,
too.
I hate fathers.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's-
true.
that
I mean, you
depends
know,
on-
ever since you murdered your father in 2006.
Not on camera.
Sorry, yeah. That's canon. That's going on the wiki. Your dad's going to go, what the hell? As he
Clean
is
the
a frequent
bathroom
updater of our
20
Wikipedia.
times.
Yeah.
Then I cleaned the bathroom with his blood.
Superman Infinite City is written by Mike Kennedy with art by Carlos Meglia. This is weird looking. I'm going to warn you up top.
Oh, no.
I saw the inside. I like it.
It looks like a Don Bluth movie meets a huge Italian-European influence.
Oh, wow.
And it looked really familiar to me. Like, revisiting this book, I was like, why does this look so familiar? And it's like, because you read it. No, it's because
I saw the movie Cool World.
it does kind of look like Cool World. But it looks better than Cool World.
Much.
Cool World, man, people trying to sell you on Cool World. Oh, you like Roger Rabbit? Then you will love Cool World. No, you won't.
Nope.
Whereas Roger Rabbit takes like every effort, you know, to bridge the gaps between rival studios and make a technical achievement in animation and a blend of that in live action. It is a straight up triumph. Cool World uses like Ralph Bakshi crap and the tamest, it doesn't even categorize itself as like softcore porn. It's not even like Silk Stockings level. It's like the most tame, superficial.
What is cool? What are we talking about? Why would that be nudity? I don't understand.
Because Cool World is the horniest movie you've never seen.
No, that's heavy metal.
Heavy metal at least has dope music in it. It's just a kind of waste of time. Plus, she's not even nearly as hot as the one that's hooking up with Brad Pitt. That's right, Brad Pitt's in that movie. He's the main character, and he would like you to forget that, because we're not talking about like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fixing roofs with his shirt off Brad Pitt. We're talking about like Thelma and Louise cameo period Brad Pitt, where he's trying something. Like it's like a neo-noir playing with
Is
the
it
idea.
Animated? I don't understand.
No, it's live action meets animation.
Why
It's
is it
like
co-
Roger
oh,
Rabbit.
Okay. So who's animated?
Well, here's the trouble.
Well, okay, so
It's not it's similar to that. Where you're bridging the worlds, but it's not
Yeah.
bridging the worlds. It's like, no, there's a separation. And like, you've got the cartoon world and the real world, and never the twain are supposed to meet.
yes. No, the Cool World is supposed to be more like Fritz the Cat. It's kind of like this underground, dangerous world. But they also shot it like on set, so it's like physical locations that are interactable by humans with animation over it, and like the least effort being made. Well, but they all want to bang, and there's a rule in their world that they can't have sex with human beings.
Okay.
And if
Well, how
you
would
do,
they anyway? They're two-dimensional.
Because, well, once a human enters that world, then they can interact with it, and so they can presumably get down.
Brad
Do
Pitt,
you become a cartoon when you enter that world?
You do not.
So you're walking around as a person.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
And Brad Pitt's the only human who lives in that world, and he's become
He's
a
a
cop,
cop.
and he's got like a dame.
A sexless cop.
Yeah, sexless cop who's got a horned up girlfriend at home who he knows he can't have sex with because he's a cop and he obeys the law. And you're like, what is happening? You know, it doesn't matter. Whatever. We're not talking about Cool World. All I'm saying is, this reminds me a little of Cool World, but without any of the... There's a little bit of horniness in it, but of course, you know, it's a comic book, so they all do. But anyway, Jesus. The reason why this looked so familiar to me isn't just because I read it like 10 years ago. It's because Carlos Meglia was the art director on a newspaper strip cartoon adaptation called Cyber 6. And Cyber 6 was a 1990s animated series that I'd never heard of until about like a week ago.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
I was watching compilations of like animated shows you'd never seen, and I'm like, seen it, until I came up with Cyber 6. And first of all, the theme song is unhinged for what you're looking at. You're looking at a show that like Avi Arad would have just splooged all over himself to have. But then you're listening to the theme and you're like, what? This is like an anime where, you know, you're watching like a hardcore, awesome, cool, rad shonen anime, and then the theme is this power ballad from this like female pop star, and you're like, yeah, that's par for the course. You don't expect it in your Canadian, European adaptation 90s cartoons.
Right.
Where it's not also Asian though. It's just
Right.
It's
they just like anime.
I don't even know if it's
Well,
anime
they took
inspired.
influence.
It's
Right.
just, but it's not their music either. It's just this crazy power ballad, and I'm like, what? What is this? Watch the whole first episode, and I'm like, that was insane.
What is it about?
I don't know.
Well, you
6
watched the
of
whole
them.
first episode.
Yup. I promise, if you watched it, you wouldn't know either.
Well, what are the characters? Is it
There's a
people? Is it animals?
Yeah, they're people. It's all
Okay.
people, and they live in like a pseudo-European city that's also a cracked mirror Americana noir city, and there's a female character who's new and she works at a school, but actually she's impersonating a man.
Oh.
And
You sure this is an anime? Sounds like an
it
anime.
looks like this. I'm like, all right, yeah, I get it. It's like Bots Master, right? There's a team of 6 characters, and maybe they come from like the internet, like
Or they do stuff on the internet.
right, like
kinda
Superhuman Samurai and Cyber Squad.
Yeah.
No, there's a character. Her name is Cyber 6, and I'm like, no, that
There's
doesn't
not even 6 of anything?
No, she's the 6th one. I don't know. It's a mess. It's confusing. But all I know is I was like, oh, that's weird. It's like the universe was calling to me. They were like, watch Cyber 6 and then think about doing Infinite City and you'll be able to bridge the gap. Whereas if you did it 9 or 8 years ago,
You'd have no idea.
You'd be like, this is crazy looking art.
And
you'd
it's
have
just
no...
it's the only thing that looks like
And the
this.
comments would be loaded with, you don't know what Cyber 6 is?
I still don't know what Cyber 6 is.
So
Neither do I, and I watched it.
it is the same artist?
Yeah.
Or it just looks like it? Okay.
No.
It's literally the same guy.
At first I went, that looks really familiar, and then I looked him up and I'm like, oh my god, Cyber 6, that's you. This is not Cyber 6. It just looks a lot like it. Borderline unhinged and impenetrable, and also has one of the most rock symbol plots you've ever seen. So it
Okay.
opens much like many Superman stories that want to be enduring and forever do, with a retelling of the origin, in which we explain that Jor-El is working on a plan to try and save Krypton, and he's got a backup plan. And you're like, I know what the backup plan is. It's no plan, it's send my son into space. And you're like, right on. And his son, Kal-El, is old enough. He's still a baby and an infant, but he's like upright, so he must be at least a couple months old. But whatever, don't worry about how old Kal-El is. It's post 2005, so
Right.
you know,
He's still
He's
a
old
baby.
enough to be
He's a
cognizant
baby.
and have reactions.
he can make facial expressions, and he does while watching his father work diligently on this backup plan. And we see that, like, you know, there's this blend of crazy Italian influenced art or crazy European influenced art merged with, you know, Jor-El is Kryptonian, he's speaking Kryptonian, and there was a house font for Kryptonian or Kryptonese
Right.
in the comics. So there's that, and you're like, oh, I know what I know what that thing is. Those lettering I get.
Right. I don't know what it says, but
And you can actually look it up.
Right.
Apparently, there's a cipher, but like I've never bothered because I know that it's like just there for window dressing, and it could just say a
Drink your
baking-
Ovaltine.
you know it's not important because if it was, they wouldn't have put it in
another
actual-
impenetrable
Or
language.
it would be
exactly.
subtitled.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So we've got Jor-El, and he's using these like floating bug robot creatures that I guess he invented to try and transcribe some of his things. And you're like, okay, cool, get it. Jor-El never stopped working all the way down to the wire, and he also never gave up hope, even though his situation was hopeless. I'm like, right on, yeah. And so then eventually it all falls apart, it doesn't work out, and so he fires his son into space.
Yep.
okay.
And the
And by son, you mean the bug that he nurtured and raised as his boy.
Yeah, no, that bug is part of the switcheroo of the backup plan. Because you're like, oh, right on, like the plan is to save the planet,
right.
and the backup plan is save my son. But no, Jor-El was a brilliant scientist, and he worked out another plan And we're going to see the fruits of that labor in this, the Infinite City. And that's the thing where I was like, that's cool. And in a pre-Rebirth world, it's even cooler. In like a post-Superman Last Son, where it's like, Superman doesn't have a son per se, but he does adopt Christopher, and that's really cool. Or Jor-El didn't actually survive the blast of Krypton's destruction because of Dr. Manhattan or not. I don't even know what's canon anymore. Jor-El fires his son into space. Who knows what happens to him? Cut to half a lifetime later, we're on Earth, we're in Metropolis, and there's this dude.
That doesn't look like Metropolis.
Well, of course it doesn't. But it is
Or
the city of
Earth.
tomorrow, so it's meant to be kind of...
Why is it all like dark looking? Like it looks like it's all polluted and crap.
Well, I think it's to contrast it against the Infinite City we're going to go to. This is like the real world. The real world is polluted and darker. Or maybe it's just devoid of color. The idea is that it's a lot more desaturated than you would normally see.
Maybe it's just a bad smog day.
Sure. Although I would think that Clark would just deal with the smog every morning. But anyway, so there's a dude, he's tearing shit up in Metropolis, just in the middle of the area, just shooting things up with a crazy space laser. Superman shows up and he's like, all right, put the gun down and we'll talk this out. The cops are like, talk this out, this dude's been firing shit everywhere. And Superman's like,
take him out, Superman!
But I'm Superman.
Right, I'll handle it.
Melt his face!
What? Yeah, there's my Superman. Melt shoes. Anyway, so Superman gets shot at by this crazy laser and it blasts him into another building and he's like, ooh, I actually felt that. That's nuts. So Superman blows on him and just blows him away from his gun, and then he picks up the gun and he's like, all right, that's enough. Give me that. Right. And so then...
Would you even get this thing?
Right, exactly. And Superman wants to know, and he looks at it and he inspects. There's very, very microscopic font on it that says Infinite City Industries, Infinite California.
Infinite California.
Yeah, like a town called Infinite. And he's like,
Infinite City.
like my wife and I are going to take a road trip. And so they do, and they go to Infinite California, or Infinite City in California, which seemingly is in the middle of the desert.
So he could like interview people as Clark Kent and Lois Lane?
Yeah. Well,
Why doesn't he just fly there as Superman and be like, hey, what's going on?
I guess his wife wanted a trip to California.
I mean,
Why didn't he
it's
carry
also
her?
one of those things where like, no, we have to make it a story.
I think that's
How am
what
I
it
going to
is.
expense things?
Yeah, I gotta expense
Well,
these things.
yeah,
I
that's
can't
true.
I can't keep like crushing coal into diamonds and then sending them to pawn shops. First of all, I'm destabilizing the American economy
real bad.
because there's too many of those, and I'm always getting undercut on the value of those things. The reason is because we need Lois in the story,
Right.
and
Not only that, but
We want to have a fun like travel story.
yeah, look, and they're
They're a
dressed,
couple going on a trip.
exactly, and they're married in this story, so like they're just keeping the life alive in their marriage. They're going on a
wait,
trip together.
I'm crushing diamonds? I'm putting like my fingerprints in those diamonds constantly. You
Yeah,
know how that can trace back to me? It's real
That
bad.
is a risk.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
there's some special Superman signature to the like construction of the diamonds. You know,
Yeah.
the atomic structure
That'd
is
be
like
so funny to see them explore that, like the Superman diamond factor, where they're like, okay, so the same way that like we cut out blood diamonds into the trade system, we
Right.
cut out Superman diamonds as well. Like,
right. They're not worth as much because they're kind of artificial.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'd be worth more.
Well, like they're worth more in the collector's market, but not in the actual free market. The only thing in Infinite City is this gas station.
It's not very infinite.
Is there even a road? Looks like they parked on grass.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah. So they arrive and they're like, huh. So they go into this diner and it's like a place at a time. It's a classic old 50s diner.
Nobody inside.
There's nobody inside. That's true. So Clark picks up a dish of ice cream and he's like, it's still cold though. So either someone was here or this place is some kind of weird nexus of reality or some crap.
Right. Time froze here or something.
I don't know. And Lois is like, well, I'm going to check the back room. So while she goes through the back door, there is a logo with a green light on it that lights up. And so when she walks through it, she ends up in Infinite City proper, which is a hodgepodge. I'm going to cut to the quick on this one.
Yeah.
It is another dimension that is a nexus point between worlds that is made up of a bunch of planets and their civilizations that are put under one roof or one jurisdiction.
Okay.
And that's why when you look at this double page splash, you could see like it looks like heavy metal because it's made up of a bunch of different art styles. You see Don Bluth, you see Frank Frazetta, you see all this crazy stuff.
Right.
Also, Lois's outfit changes inexplicably, but whatever. So maybe because of her crossing over, you also notice the color palette is completely shifted as well.
Yeah.
It's like
Now
maybe
we're
it
in
was
this-
red before, but like now you're really seeing it red.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like we were seeing realistic lighting, and
wasn't
her
red.
outfit is white.
Right.
But also, maybe it's just that desaturated. I don't know. It's artistic. Leave your theories in the comments.
Right.
So everyone's speaking a crazy moon language, which of course we know is Kryptonese. Weirdly enough, Lois hasn't taught herself that language, which I think you would by this point, but okay. Or maybe Clark would like implant something in her while she was sleeping that like made her learn Kryptonese immediately.
Well, I mean, how often does she need to know it, right?
That's
like,
fair.
It's for him.
It is for him, and like he only learned it as a courtesy. Like he
He's
doesn't
probably
use it.
yeah. He's probably asking her to learn it.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah. She's like, it's on my list.
I'm not learning.
It's on my
crazy
to-do
moon
list.
language.
I'll sure. Yeah.
That's your dead planet.
Yeah.
Like
you married into my dead planet. I
Look,
mean, like,
once they add it to Duolingo, sure, then I'll learn it.
right. I honestly, that would be cool. I would love if Superman were real and I could learn his dead moon language, I would learn it.
yeah. What about Elvish? They could do.
They could, yeah. Well, but
Duolingo
like they could do
Elvish.
Elvish, Dwarvish,
Yeah.
Klingon.
Klingon.
Listen, if no college is offering Klingon,
No, there's definitely a college that offers Klingon.
yeah.
I've heard of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's the,
I've only known people to self-teach themselves Klingon,
Yeah.
or it's an elective,
well, I mean,
like a high school elective.
that's weird.
I've heard of that.
Which is it? Is it Hamlet or is it Macbeth?
Oh, in Klingon?
Yeah.
Well, it's Shakespeare in the original Klingon. Hamlet
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
Hamlet.
yes.
It was
If you
Hamlet.
talk about Star Trek 6, yes, yes.
Yeah, there was someone who did a performance of Hamlet in Klingon.
In Klingon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
real
I've
life?
seen-
I've seen
there was
clips. It's
somebody that
insane.
did it, yeah.
I'll bet it's insane. I'll bet it's also terrible because Klingon is an ugly, stupid language.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
there's fighting words.
Yeah, shots fired at the Klingon Empire.
There's some Klingons out there on the internet who are gonna have some real problems.
This
with
man speaks without honor.
Kapla! Bring it on, all right? We see a fun, distinct-looking captain of the guard who shows up to meet her. When we translate from Kryptonese into English, he'll be Scottish because that's fun.
So they've all adopted Kryptonese?
Yeah,
I guess
seemingly.
Krypton took over when they
Well,
showed
it's like
up.
the universal language of that area. Like, look, if you want to
yeah.
enter our area,
Yeah.
this is the universal language.
Right, it's basic. So Lois gets apprehended?
Oh.
I hesitate to call her arrested, but she is arrested though. And so they bring her in, and it's a quarantine because anyone from outside of their reality has to go into quarantine lest they be bringing in some kind of a pathogen or some kind of like a unknown virus because people are coming in from holes within the fabric of their own reality, and they're like, this is a protocol we have in place.
Is this a thing where like you're allowed in but you're not allowed out?
Yes. That'll be revealed, but also it's more like we're not inviting people in. It's when these fissures happen, people tend to come through, and we have a system in place for that. And so they put her
Yeah,
in.
you polybagger apparently.
Exactly. So they put her into a little room, and she meets up with a bookkeeper, and the bookkeeper explains that like they've done a translation spell on her so that she's not understanding them, she's speaking their language.
Right, magic's definitely here.
Magic
So he's
exists.
a dwarf. Okay.
Why not? Right? I mean, like it is an excuse for them to draw shit they want to see from
Right.
all walks of animation.
I mean, dude kind of looks like he's wearing like Warhammer 40,000. gear.
Yeah, he's like surrounded up to the top of his head by like armor and crap.
Clark is still at the bar, kind of like looking at this, trying to figure it out. And he's like, this is weird. Like, it's 117 degrees outside in the shade, and yet this ice cream hasn't melted. And so
What about this ice cream though? It's
he's
making
still
me
focused on
crazy.
this. Well, and the reason why you're like, oh my God, why are you still focused on this ice cream? Is because time moves differently in Infinite City versus
it's been
reality.
like a second
It's been
thing.
like a second. So it's not that he's still harping on the ice cream. It's that he's still completing his thought about the ice cream.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but as we all know, his brain moves like a million times faster than ours. So like,
So it's been a year.
he's thought a long time about this.
Yeah, that's right. And also ate it absently and was like, oh no, it's gone. My one clue. So he goes through the doorway that Lois went through, but there's a red light on the door. So when he opens it, it just takes him into the back room. And then he notices the light and it changes to green. So he goes through it again. Now he's in Infinite City. I'm like, all right, we didn't need that. But so he goes through and he runs into the captain of the guard, the Scotsman,
Right.
and he's like talking to him and he goes, whoa, you speak Kryptonian?
Huh.
And so he starts speaking Kryptonian and it morphs from Kryptonian into English.
Okay.
As if to say, like,
I'm not filling this whole book with Kryptonian.
and he speaks it.
Right.
Like, Lois speaks it now because of a magic spell.
Right.
That I presume never wears off. Or it does after the end of this book.
Yeah, it should wear off once she leaves the realm.
Sure. I mean, why not? It never comes up again, and no one ever refers to the story ever again. So why the hell not? It's a perfect episode of the show, but also a book that is in the annals of Superman history where it's like, oh, you want a self-contained Superman story? Well, try this batshit looking book about Superman in a mystical realm of fantasy creatures. And
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that feel here. Just like,
So Superman arrives and his powers start like fritzing out, like his heat vision is activated, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, hang on a second, like it's an accident, I'm not doing it." And then the bat that the Scotsman is riding goes berserk, and so he leaves, and they're trying to arrest him, and so he flies through this incredible, fantastical realm until he bumps into the Warden, and the Warden is Superman in this reality, and we see a parallel of Superman dealing with the dude with the gun from this reality. Now Superman's on the receiving end of this guy.
Is he a jackbooted thug like we're supposed to believe?
Oh yeah, no, they call him the Warden. That's his superhero name.
Right.
And this is a reality, of course, where there are no superheroes, so no one would think to refer to him as one. But he's the protector of this realm. But no one's allowed to leave, which is why they call him the Warden.
because it's really a prison.
It really is, or at least that's certainly how it's treated, and that's where the Lex Luthor analog character is trying to gain power because he's like a regular guy, and he's like the person who runs this place, the mayor of Infinite City, is a tyrant, and he's made up all these lies about like the fabric of reality and how it could collapse in on itself. And no, we need to push against him and install a new leader. I nominate myself, and then we can like finally get the freedom we all deserve. And so it's like, okay, yeah, I've seen that Superman story, and I'm seeing it here. Okay, Superman and the Warden battle in a sequence that would definitely be in a Don Bluth movie or in any animated movie made between 1986 and whenever they stopped making hand-drawn animation.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like I'm
2000?
watching a
2000?
mix of The Black Cauldron
Yes!
and Atlantis the Lost Empire.
That is, you've nailed it. That is exactly what this book is. Yeah, if you like Don Bluth and Atlantis the Lost Empire, you might really respond to Infinite City, especially because Carlos Meglia is like an animation pioneer. And has a deep affinity for old school animation.
Right.
Like, old school off-kilter animation.
Like, I love how he's doing the blur effects for movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that like you'll see later there's people walking through a hall that is just a photo that they put a blur effect on.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Animation does it all the time. Let's give it a pass.
It's drawn as if it was animated because you've got like these backgrounds which look like paintings.
Yes.
And then on top of it, you've got this crisp cell looking.
That definitely is going to move.
Right. That's the thing that you imagine is, okay, that's the thing that's moving. The background is static like in animation, and the foreground is, with the action that's moving around. It looks distinct.
Yes. The Warden knocks Superman into a bathroom and it tears his clothes, and so Superman's outfit is revealed, and this causes the Warden to say "Great Row," which of course is an old Krypton expression that Superman has pioneered as far as we're concerned, but now we know, there's some kind of
it's
Krypton.
from Krypton.
No, Krypton, what's going on?
He got that from the tapes his dad left him, I guess.
Right, or whatever.
Oh, Great Row. I love their tomato sauce. They have a delicious marinara.
So Superman, obviously, and the Warden stop fighting for a minute, and we get to meet...
Does the Warden recognize his outfit? Like,
yes.
It's the Superman.
No, he
okay.
recognizes the crest.
Oh, because it was from the
It's
blanket
from the
or
House of
whatever.
L. Yeah, exactly. So we meet up with Sharp, who is the Lex Luthor character. He's a captain of industry. He's clearly the guy who invented the gun, or at least facilitated the sale of the gun that ended up in Earth's reality from Infinite Industries. He also looks like the main character from another obscure animated movie called Cats Don't Dance.
Oh, yeah?
Yup. Here's another one you haven't seen.
I definitely didn't see that one.
Wait for my Rockadoodle reference. It'll knock your socks off.
I remember Rockadoodle.
I've never seen Cats Don't Dance, but I've seen the trailer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't remember it at all. You can tell he's a captain of industry because he's standing in front of a giant window with a blimp in the background.
Yeah, that's right.
Drinking a glass of sparkling wine.
Of course.
Yeah.
You can see he's also at the offices of Infinite Industries. He is talking to...
Which kind of mirrors the
Daily Planet.
Daily Planet.
Yeah. Big time. Yeah, we're merging our metaphors here. It's like, this is Lex Luthor, but he's in the Daily Planet. Moving on. But he's also talking to...
This guy should be Perry then.
Oh, yeah. But it's an industry. It's just the globe. Anyway, just talking to the head of a dissident movement of terrorists. Doesn't matter what their names are.
Oh.
It's just like, you could tell he's a bad guy because he's wearing green and he has a sinister face.
Right.
So, you're like, oh no. And he's the guy who's like the interim between the weapons sales that end up in Earth,
our world.
Whatever. And by the way, he doesn't go any further than that one guy who had that one gun.
Oh, it's not part of some plot to flood the Earth with weapons?
No, we even find out like there is a closure on that. Like we do get closure on that plot
Okay.
at the
It's not
very
just
end.
random.
It's all part of
Wait, what was the name?
time.
Time?
Jezzed in time.
Jezzed in time?
Jezzed in time. Haha, get it?
More like jizzed in time.
No, it's not more like
It's
that.
not like that at all.
It's just an excuse for you to say that. That's what you did. That's what it's more like. More like you're a pervert.
Oh, I'm the pervert!
Just in time is a pun. Just in time is nothing.
Just in time isn't a phrase.
It's not referring to anything.
How it is now.
Yeah, well, just give me a second.
Hey, gotta shoot my shot while I can.
No, please don't. Corp's nefarious plot to invade other realities.
Okay.
It's like step 4 of his like many step plot, which is of course like create disorder and discontent within the populace,
Right.
dethrone the mayor, install a puppet that I can easily manipulate and control that'll run the masses while I get rich and fat off of our like newfound dealings.
Right.
And if the world is destroyed and as long as I'm out, I don't care. But I am trying to make money though.
Okay, so the warden's keeping everybody in, and this guy has some dream to escape.
Yes. And we just know he's a bad guy because he's the Lex Luthor stand-in.
How did these people get there?
They came through a fissure in reality. We'll talk more about like how it was generated because it's like, what is this place that we
Right.
are all in? And I think the idea is that
the
yes,
mystery.
the city can be infinite because we've never reached the end of it because we could keep adding to it. We're in a pocket dimension,
Right.
so it's like it has endless space. So it theoretically could be infinite. But anyway, so the warden brings Superman in. Superman tries to like button up and get back to not being Superman because he's like, I don't know who should know who I am. I don't know what I'm dealing with, so I'm not just gonna just drop my name casually.
Right.
I mean,
So,
I've dealt with people all over the galaxy, so it's possible someone here knows me.
exactly, and if they do, it's possible that they might end up spilling my secret identity if they were to visit Earth at some point. So I'll give a fake name. And so the warden brings Superman back to like the headquarters, and he talks to administrator who's like, what the hell's this? Like, he's out of quarantine. He shouldn't be here, blah, blah, blah. And Clark is trying to do the best he can to ingratiate himself with the people. He's like, I'm from Earth. I'm looking for my friend. Doesn't want to say who she is or what she means to him.
Friend.
Yeah, I'm looking for my friend. She ended up here. If she got the welcome that I
your
received,
friend.
it's probably messed up. Yeah. So the administrator's like, oh, Earth. That's very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to take you to the mayor. So she brings him into like a crazy labyrinth of wires and machinery, and introduces him to the mayor, who is a fun-looking Treasure Planet robot puppet monster that you'd see on an episode of Farscape or in an animated movie.
When you meant a puppet mayor,
Said with such
I didn't think
derision.
it was genuine.
Yeah, no, but it actually is
physically
a puppet.
I mean, he looks like a Henson creature shop, like I'm a robot kind of creature.
True.
Yeah. Is it a
Don't
being
dig.
or is it like AI?
It's AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people elected this mayor, or
He elected himself and runs unopposed every election cycle, which happens to be every million years or so. Like, no,
Oh.
he does not. He's not. He's a mayor in name only.
Now,
Well,
I might
he
just be
kinda
a
calls
simple
himself the
robot mayor, but I think I know a thing or two about introductions and welcomings in this place.
So please,
By all means, Mr. Kentwood was?
no. He gives a fake name, and his name is Calvin Ellis, and this is fun for 2 reasons. First of all,
Okay.
obviously he's using a portmanteau of
Kal-El,
Kal-El.
yeah.
right?
Calvin Ellis will inevitably be the name they give to Black Superman.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
That's mine.
You know what? No one's going to check. They're never going to
even
make a
read that
90-minute
book.
episode of a show on the internet where they're going to talk about it. So I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
But so he explains that he needs to they exist in a delicate temporal buffer where they must delicately control any and all traffic that comes through here, so they can make sure to find those fissure points where another reality might bleed into it and then close it.
Okay, so they were created by other realities seeping in, and they're trying to stop it.
Well,
Like, we got enough realities here.
they
No more
have to-
new
crazy.
realities.
Well, it's not like it's like they're running out of room or anything. It's just like every time a new reality bleeds in or there's a fissure where other realities can come in, it could cause the structure of this entire existence to break down.
Yeah, by which I mean, when they come in, they work for much
No, I
lower
don't mean
wages than everybody
economically.
else, and they destabilize the economy.
No, literally, the whole damn place will collapse in itself.
Oh, okay.
Like Armageddon. I'm not talking about a economic collapse.
Have there been like rumblings? Like every once in a while, like do they just hear like a groan and a shake and like buildings fall apart?
No.
So what evidence is there that this is going to happen?
Because the AI mayor of this infinite city is super smart and knows this, and has seen evidence of it, like where in other places we don't actually get to see.
Well, that's awfully convenient.
Does that actually happen later in the story, or is it just like a consequence?
Yes, we do see the consequence of too much temporal interference.
So he's not lying.
He's not
Okay.
lying.
Oh, okay.
He's on
Good.
the level, despite his insane and sinister appearance.
Right.
The AI is like, so tell me about the Lord of Earth, like the king of your
Right.
planet. And he's like, we're actually, the planet's broken up into a system of independent nations that are all ruled by their own governments, which range from monarchies to democracy. And he's
Robot's like,
what?
Really?
Yeah,
That sounds complicated.
that sounds stupid as fuck. He's like,
well, at least we all belong to the same reality.
yeah, well, excuse me. I didn't realize we were throwing stones in glass houses. But he's like, dude, that's weird. So, like, you're saying to me, Earth, right? You're from Earth? He's like, yeah. He's like, so you're saying, like, around 29 years ago or so, your planet didn't, like, enter into a unprecedented era of prosperity and peace under a benevolent but tightly fisted monarch made of powers from beyond the stars? Like, nothing like that happened? He's like, no.
Why would that have happened?
What an oddly specific question to ask me. So he's like, anyway, I gotta check things out. Would you mind subjecting yourself to a system of tests? I need to actually get a sample of your blood and everything. And by the way, again, all on the level. It's just supposed to be weird and unnerving. You are supposed to distrust the mayor.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, he's not a bad guy.
Right.
But he's
this
like,
is just a weird, creepy place.
right.
Oh, no, that makes sense. He's on the level. Sal doesn't like him because he's a robot.
Right.
Exactly.
Sal,
I don't
who
trust
doesn't
him.
like him. Yeah.
And I have all right to do so because he doesn't have a soul. But he proceeds to.
He doesn't have to have a soul. He has the votes.
That's true. Yeah, he is the ballot box. Just make your selection here. Just push the button here.
Oh,
gee
looks like
whiz.
you voted for me. I didn't. Well, my system says different.
Yeah, well, I'm a highly sophisticated robot, and I'm telling you, this is definitely something you should be doing. So he stabs Superman with these like tubes, and Superman at first is like, "There's no way you're gonna get through my rock hard skin." Oh, you're stabbing me. Okay, well that's weird.
Oh, that's
it's like, yeah, because of
not
magic,
normal.
but we don't say it's because of magic.
Right.
Superman just starts to cry.
Oh!
Yeah, actually, there's a moment in Superman 2 where the least Superman thing I've ever seen happens, is where Superman gives up his powers to have sex with Lois, and so then I don't know how he and she end up back at the mainland from the North Pole, and they end up, the first thing they do is they go to a diner, and Clark gets the crap knocked out of him by some trucker hat wearing jerk off, and when he gets knocked over, he's bleeding, and he goes, "Blood, my blood," and he immediately is like, "This is a mistake." Like, he hasn't
I
done,
should not have done that.
the first thing he does is fuck Lois.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he does. And the second thing he does is try to have a cheeseburger at a diner, and he gets punched, and he's like, "Never mind."
Give it up right away.
And then he goes back,
Not doing
and,
this anymore.
and his mother's like, "We can't just do that."
No, you made a choice.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I've changed
Well,
my
I made
mind."
the wrong choice. Put it back. Put
Yep.
it back. Put it back the way it was.
And then 3 Supermen show up, and he's like, "Oh, this is the worst day ever." Anyway, so then they stick Lois into a full body condom, and they're going to transport her via pterodactyl or whatever the hell this is supposed to be. You know what this is?
Why's it got crap on its face? What is all that crap?
It's like a dino rider. It's like, you have a regular dinosaur, but then you put like some shit on him, and then you make him a dino rider. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the ancient Dino Riders action figure line, but there were these fun toys where they were remote control dinosaurs, and they were just dinosaurs, like from the museum gift shop. But they also came with like saddles and headgear and like blazers and stuff.
Yeah.
You can put it on them, but if you lose them, you just have a dinosaur.
Why do they put her in a condom?
Oh,
Are they
they're
trying to protect
Well,
her
that's her
from the
convenience.
air
Yeah,
or something?
because she's
It's
still in
mobile.
quarantine.
Oh,
Like,
she's
but we need to move
quarantined,
her
that's
from
right.
holding to.
She's a bubble
different-
boy,
It was also because she's a bubble boy. She's a boy in a bubble. She's being moved by powerful forces. So they're moving.
They're
We're
keeping
moving
her
in a
away
bu-
from Superman.
Yeah. Yes. So then terrorist attack, and they mess things up, and then Superman and the Warden arrive to disrupt them. And Superman shows up to try and rescue them.
So Superman is teamed up with the Warden.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah, because the Warden is the
It's
law of the
you
land
seem,
here.
Yeah, you seem on the level.
Right, exactly. Despite your, let's say, jackbooted appearance. But,
No, it's fine. I look like I'm from the 1930s.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you do look like from the... Yeah, you sure
from
do.
a very specific part of the 1930s.
Through a very specific region during the 1930s. So Superman steps in to help, and his powers are kind of going haywire. Like they don't work as fluidly as he expect, mostly because it's pandemonium in this insane pocket reality.
Right.
And the Warden's like, "Hey, amateur, would you please step off while I do the thing I do here?" Because he's like the Superman.
This is
of
my
world.
freaking job.
Right.
Yeah, so he swoops in and he tries to save Lois and so forth, and Superman's just like, "Oh my god, like I'm useless here. I
Right.
feel like a friggin' idiot."
Well, yeah.
Is there no yellow sun?
That does not matter.
Yeah,
But
there's no sun at all.
There is no sun, but it doesn't matter. You seem to derive your powers from the yellow sun of your world. There isn't a sun here, so you can take this and it'll essentially approximate solar radiation via a pill you take.
It's what I take.
You're a robot!
No, the Warden, not the mayor.
Yeah, well, I'm saying
No,
the
the
mayor
mayor
gave him
gives
the
him-
pill
Oh,
and
the
the
mayor
Warden
gave the
takes
pill.
shit. So,
I figured the Warden was also Kryptonian.
well, yes, he is. He is Kryptonian. And
he's also got to
so
take
he's
the pill.
also
he's
got to
got
be
to
on
take
the
the pill.
pill.
You're absolutely right. That's a
Yeah.
good point. So the one of the terrorists does a teleportation move during a sequence that is straight up written by us. Where
Yeah.
the Warden says, "Oh no, they spot shifted. They could be anywhere in a 500 square blarg area." And Superman goes, "What? How big is a blarg?" And he goes, "A little more than a florp, about a florp and a half."
Yep.
And he goes, "That was a big help, thank you."
Is that a lot? Is that a little?
I'm like, "Oh man, this might as well be Rick and Morty."
How much is it from here to there?
Oh, that's a gloop.
I hate you.
I hit this place. I'm burning to the ground. I'm just gonna start poking holes everywhere. So the terrorists are gone, but the wreckage remains, and the news arrives, and you got like a Lois Lane-esque stand-in who the Warden doesn't really like because the Warden doesn't stick around to do press interviews unlike Superman, and he's just like, "I'm just trying to keep order here. I'm trying to do the right thing and make sure that nothing
Right,
falls
why would I
apart."
talk to the press?
Yeah, exactly. And the press is like, "Hey, Warden, now that you're here for a minute, let's talk. Let's chat."
When you said the wreckage remains, you meant the body of that living pterodactyl thing that they were flying in.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, yeah.
Just realized, wait a minute, that was an animal.
Oh, yeah.
You called it wreckage.
Well, the animal carried.
What is wrecked?
The animal is a robot. The animal carried a transport module that also was destroyed.
I see.
Yeah. It's not like the pterodactyl creature ate them and then they travel in his stomach.
No, yeah.
So there's wreckage and a carcass.
and the carcass.
Naturally. Well, that goes without saying, I think.
Yeah.
So Ruth, the reporter, interviews Superman. The Warden's like, "I don't want to talk to you. You can talk to the blue boy, please." And she's like, "Hello." So what's your story? And he's like, she's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Superman." And Warden's like, "Wow, a little on the nose." And I'm dressed like a Nazi. Like, what are you talking about? Sharp has brought in the wormy character from earlier who essentially runs the quarantine zone. He is brought in by a character that you can't make a Don Bluth movie without having, a buxom redhead character.
Nice.
Is she bad or just drawn that way? We'll find out.
Both.
But her name's Tiffany. And she's,
Nice.
And she's essentially his mercy to Lex Luthor. And
I mean, she's wearing the open-collared shirt with the tie.
Yeah,
with stockings
why?
and a schoolgirl outfit.
It's a schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Well, it's an alternate universe. She can wear whatever I want.
Exactly. No, that's standard work outfit.
Yeah, that's normal for them.
Yeah. What? Wait, who's getting titillated here? Sounds like you're a pervert.
That's standard for them. It's gross for us.
Never mind the fact that he's wearing like a head-to-toe lab uniform. So obviously they've recovered Lois. I am a benevolent capitalist businessman, so you can trust me.
Right.
You were arrested by
And
the
she's
government.
immediately like, I don't trust her.
She's like, you look like Lex Luthor with full red hair. What are you talking about? But yeah, he introduces himself to her. And he's like, "Oh, Shantae, hello." He doesn't say French. He speaks. He says, "Oh, Shantae from Krypton or whatever." But
I don't know
clearly,
what that means.
Which is,
from
hi,
Krypton's
how you
friends.
doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, "Hello, what have we here?" And Tiffany is immediately jealous of Lois, and I guess it's because Time has galaxy fever. He likes chicks from other realities.
No, he's like, well, been there, done that.
Galaxy
Moving
fever,
on.
yeah.
Big time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
new.
Yes.
New hotness.
New hotness. And Lois is pretty hot, especially in
Yeah.
this insane outfit. That,
Yeah.
Transformed from doorway to doorway.
Let's see what strange diseases you have in your reality.
Yeah, let's see what thing I need to take a topical ointment for after I'm done with you. But so he talks about like how I know you're from Earth. You have a crazy reality. I want to introduce like an exchange between your world. Like I understand you still have that pesky cancer problem. Like we've resolved all those problems, even though.
Why do you even have cancer? You're not even humans. Like, why do you have the same diseases?
Well, remember, there's a translation here.
Right.
The Infinite City equivalent of cancer is what you have, and you
Right.
understand to be cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just what they're saying.
It doesn't
Yeah.
come up, by the way. It's not like they do have a pill they take that doesn't let them get cancer. It's all horse shit. I mean, he's selling weapons.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm impressed he knows what cancer is.
Right.
Like, how does he know so much about Earth?
That's true, and it's because he's so curious, and he's been sending weapons across the border.
Would you say he's curious like a cat?
Yeah, I think that's why they call him Whiskers. So if they don't, Lois is just kind of like addled from the whole experience. I think it's because she's kind of like, interdimensionally traveling, and just rode a pterodactyl in a terrorist attack. Like
Right.
she's
A pterodactyl that
She's a little out of sorts.
was that the one that was taken down?
yeah.
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 Yeah, they nabbed
So she was
her
in a
from-
pterodactyl accident.
That's true. Yeah.
Pterodactyl accident, yeah.
She's in shock.
The pterodactyl she was inside was brutally murdered in front of her.
Exactly. By
she's-
the terrorist organization, the Leaves.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
Because they leave. No, it's because they're silent.
They call themselves the Leaves?
The Leaves. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yes, because they fall silently from the sky and blow away without a trace.
I see. And they're just victims of circumstance. They have no control over their actions.
Are there trees in this reality?
I think that they had trees in their previous realities, and they're referring to them.
Right.
I don't know. But they call themselves the leaves because they fall down quietly and then blow away. I don't know what it's referencing to, but
Yeah.
they sure seem to know.
Right.
I know what they call themselves the leaves because they make like a tree and get the hell out of here.
I mean, that's exactly right. It's true that they do. I thought they were going to be called Leaves because they go. The Warden, and we got the Mayor and Superman, and the Warden is he's really jealous. We got two jealousy stories. We got
Yeah.
Sharp, who's hitting on Lois, much to the chagrin of Tiffany. We've got the Mayor, who's favoring Superman over the Warden, so Warden's pretty pissed off. So obviously the Warden is going to be sweet-talked by Sharp into betraying the Mayor, so we're going to get that whole
See,
thing
you're
going
getting
on.
replaced. Look at this golden boy.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, and as if to compound issues, the Mayor's like, everybody get out of here. I want Superman alone. And so they do leave, and one of the nerds is talking to them about how lovely Lois is, so Superman knows that Lois is, being
Here.
manipulated, or at least she's around.
okay.
And so the Mayor proceeds to explain to Superman, I know who you are. I know about Earth because I'm Jor-El.
What?
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
He's
Jor-El.
like, no,
I know Jor-El's
no,
a
I'm
dude.
not.
Jor-El's a guy. No, Jor-El.
You're a dirty robot.
You're a horrible robot. You couldn't possibly be my father. I love my father. My
Even
father's
though-
capable of love and affection.
Even though the version of my father I know is literally a computer.
That's right. That's why he's so quick to believe him.
Right.
But the Mayor is like, no, the backup plan was I created an artificially intelligent version of myself to run the pocket reality that was going to be the lifeboat for Krypton. The idea was I was going to make another reality we could just shunt all of Krypton into, but the planet blew up before I could do it. So I created this other reality
I just
already.
didn't get anything in it.
I didn't get anything in it, and I made an AI version of myself that is me and has all my memories and experience up to the death of Krypton. And the me that is sitting here as a weird frog robot monster has been Jor-El, as though Jor-El has continued living from the time I fired you into space to now.
So when I asked that you didn't
Take over Earth. Well, I was expecting you to spread Krypton's greatness and run Earth.
Yeah, why didn't you make it second Krypton?
Exactly. And he's
You've
like,
disappointed me, son.
it's just yeah. I mean, he's not really disappointed. He's actually kind of nice, but it's I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming.
Right. I just assumed the most powerful being
Would run it.
rule it.
Yes. And it's no, man, what? It's wow, that's really kind of that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that coming. You must have really cool, interesting parents. That kind of thing. He doesn't. The Pa and Ma don't come up because that would complicate our insane cartoon.
Yes.
So the Mayor's
What do you mean
yeah.
you have parents?
What? Yes, you do now.
Yeah, I'm here. Hug me.
Yeah, whoever they are, they don't matter anymore. Forget about them.
That's right. So
You give me their names. I'm gonna go vaporize them in your reality.
the mayor like reveals, he opens up like a chest plate and he's got the
crest.
the crest, the insignia built in there.
Oh, thank God. I thought like it was just gonna be on his back the whole time. He never knew it was
Yeah,
there.
it's like
He just floated around, and Superman just sees us like, what is on your back? What's on my back?
yeah, what do you mean? Because I was built by someone else. I don't know what the hell's back there.
Question: why does he look like a bug monster?
Because that's what they wanted to draw. And because bug monsters are important to the story. Like, we saw that Jor-El was working on that stuff with a horrible bug robot
that's true.
monster.
That's like, well, that's what the tech we
looks
use on
like.
Krypton looks like.
Yeah.
So of course that's what I look like.
Yeah. Well, and it was made in haste.
Right.
You know, I had to kind of pull a shit together. Also, there is a underlying problem throughout Infinite City, and thankfully it's being taken care of. Essentially, they have like a pest problem in the form of robot bugs that are also like causing fissures in reality. So like it's like this whole place like wants to die. And it just
It's kind of like I wasn't supposed to do this. Like it's
Yeah.
unnatural to try to save a civilization from its ultimate fate.
right in a pocket reality that was made by me. You know,
Yeah.
it's all on the level. When I remember rereading this and thinking like, so Jor-El's full of shit, right? This is not real.
That's not
It's like,
Jor-El.
no, he is. Like, it really is Jor-El's AI in that bug body.
Right.
And he's like, I'm your dad.
I'm your dad. I don't look like your dad.
I don't look like him, and
But,
you know.
try
Your dad,
to
I'm
not
actually
be
a little bit
prejudiced.
better than your dad because the dad I sent with you is an older version.
Right. Yeah. That
I'm a little bit more
hologram.
updated.
Yeah.
Well, I've lived.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a body.
Yeah. I'm physically here. It's like, okay, I didn't know that was how we were measuring things. So Just in Time addresses the city in a kind of like broadcast where he's like, the mayor's shit, and this play, he's sensationalizing our apocalypse. It's all juxtaposed against, we're seeing exterminators in like this condemned building trying to destroy these robots, bugs, that are also like creating fissures in reality.
Okay,
So they call
so
swarmers.
he's saying that like the mayor wants you to think that like these fissures are going to destroy reality.
Yeah,
He's
but-
just trying to keep you in.
Yes, and it's
Right.
like, no, but they are though. And
Right.
and they are also seemingly going, these swarmers, these bugs that are doing this, are going through portals that look a lot like the Just in Time doorway that Lois and Clark went through in the first place. So Just in Time is also the architect of this Infinite City's destruction.
So his greed for the resource, which is markets in other realities that
Yes!
he can sell crap to, is going to like destroy this whole reality.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost like a convoluted climate change metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just anything that is destroyed by corporate.
Jessica
greed.
Rabbit showed up.
That's Lois in a sexy dress that Just in Time made sure that she put on.
That's not who I'm referring to.
Tiffany is just Jessica Rabbit. She's clearly, I mean, obviously we're doing a Jessica Rabbit reference, and she's dolled herself up because Lois is wearing a sexy dress that Time made her wear.
Well, then I'm gonna get a sexy dress too.
She's like, stop!
Jesus,
I
Tiffany.
don't want to do this. I'm a prisoner. Don't compete with me.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. I'm eating worms. I don't want to be here at all.
He's all yours. I don't want this.
I'll show you.
Are you a hussy?
Oh my
Stealing
God.
my man?
Please, for the love of God, don't be a stereotype. That's all I know how to be.
I was drawn this way.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I got it. I got the whole book. Got
Yep.
it.
Boom. Got
all
it. Done. So we bump into Time, and he's working with like a kooky scientist that's like making technology for him that's like, black market stuff. I could hear the music in the scenes. Of him being like, "Oh, hello there, Dr. Pie," and Dr. Pie's like, "Oh, Mr. Time, yes, I've got your mimic suit ready to go." And you're
I'm a
like,
huge nerd. I have a stupid voice.
okay.
Yep, got it.
So he's like, "Yeah, Tiffany, you're involved with this plan. Moving on." So
Okay.
Does she become a giant bug person?
no. There's no transformations, thank God. So the mayor explains that was why this whole place exists. It was supposed to save Krypton. It didn't. Oops, I sent you to Earth.
Now I'm stuck here.
Well, and I was lonely, so I made a son out of a strand from your hair. So I cloned the Warden from you.
Why is he blonde?
Yeah,
He dyes his hair.
I don't know. They don't explain it. I was like,
Never addressed.
I was like, you.
Never explained.
I'm like, you could have picked any other, like your saliva, anything. I had a copy of your genetic material, so I made a clone of you. But no, it had to be your hair, which is black.
I used
And I made him
your black
blonde.
hair to make him from you, but he's blonde.
What?
I used only his recessive traits.
So it's not a clone.
Right. Well, I mean,
Right. No, he dyes his hair.
Yeah, sure. What happened was,
no reason.
I remember seeing like a behind-the-scenes sketch that Meglia provided, and it in some other realm, like in a blog or something, and he has black hair. It was a note that they changed.
Like, don't make him look so much like Superman.
He
that
looks
it'll
too
confuse
similar.
people.
Yes, too similar. Change.
I don't like the way it looks
Okay.
on the page. Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense, though.
Yes.
Did you read the book?
Right.
Yeah, make him look like an Ubermensch.
Yeah. So, well, yeah.
That's the joke.
Well, that's what we're going with. Might as well
Yeah.
make him blonde. Exactly. It works perfectly. So, Jor-El explains to Calvin that the warden's name is Kal-El. He's like, "Is my name too?" He's like, "Well, call me sentimental."
Well, I didn't think I was going to see you.
He's technically you.
Yeah.
Does the warden know that the mayor is Jor-El and that he's his dad?
It's kind of complicated. Like, I don't think that the warden is aware that he's literally his dad. I think the warden sees the mayor as his dad.
As like a father figure.
Yes. But they're also, like, you could tell...
Well, I'm literally your dad, though.
Right, and like the warden is also like kind of dumb. Like, he's not as true and
Isn't he supposed to be
perfect as Superman.
super smart? Like Superman's super smart?
Right, but Superman, like, he also is...
Superman grew up with Earth parents.
Yeah, Superman had access to different things and different stimuli and...
Yeah, but Jor-El's like a super genius.
Yeah, but I guess like the idea is that like he's smart in as much as he's book smart, but he's not smart enough to like be Superman. Like, he's not altruistic, or at
I
least
see.
he means well, but he doesn't mean as well as Clark.
I see. Okay.
You know what it
have
is?
the moral.
It's the pills.
The
He's
fiber.
not getting the pure red sun.
Yeah.
He's taking these supplements,
I
and
know,
it's
Right, it's not
as
the
good.
same as
right?
being under our sun.
Yeah, we also
Yellow
need to
sun.
establish that like the captain of the guard, Warhammer guy, is the father of the reporter Ruth.
What? Okay.
Because
So there's like 5 people in this universe, this infinite universe.
that's right. Oh, there's 5 main characters. I mean,
And it's an
They're all
infinite
connected
universe,
to each
but
other.
it's a very small city.
I'm making an animated movie. It's gonna be 80 minutes long. There's only gonna be 6 characters in this book.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, a movie.
And they're all
connected
connected
somehow.
Of course they
Yep.
are. Well, they got to be on screen at the same time,
And Tiffany's his daughter.
right? Oh my god. Thankfully, Tiffany has nothing to do with it. She's there.
Come on, they both have red hair. They have to be related.
So the police of this reality discover the Leaves location of Lois, which is to say that, of course, the time has moved Lois to a place and leaked that information to the police. But yeah, so they're going to spring into action and go recover Lois now. So, Superman and the Warden are at odds with each other, of course, because Warden's like, I run this place. Like, this is my city to protect.
I run this shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you're an amateur. Right. And so then, the mayor refers to Superman as Calvin Ellis, and the warden immediately puts together that his name is Kal-El, and he's like, wait a minute, like, you're his son. Oh, no. Like, I am being replaced. So
You're his son.
Yeah.
Time puts Lois in like a limo, and he's like, I'm going to send you to where you need to be, of course, to go find that guy you're looking for. And please, wear this special, like, pin or whatever. And he puts it on her. This like flower-shaped, crazy
like, sure.
moon pin. She's like, whatever. And so he's like,
It's a brooch.
Lois doesn't have a lot of agency in this book.
Well, okay. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, why is Lois such a dunderhead in this book?
Yeah,
but you'll see.
Okay.
But she's really nervous. She's getting in the limo. She's like, I don't know. And he's like, just trust me, sweetheart. You're gonna be fine. He kisses her on the hand, sends her off. Superman and the.
There's also an armed guard across from her.
Oh, of course. Well, it's the head of the Leaves.
Right.
And so. The warden attacks the limo because he knows that it's like run, because he has word that it's run by the Leaves, and so then the Leaves attack the warden, and a big fight breaks out where the car it's a flying limo. It topples over, and Lois starts to fall out. And Superman's like, I'm not staying by when Lois needs help, so he swoops into action and he saves her. And the flying car is falling, and it's going to crash into the people below. And the warden's like, well, we have to chase the Leaves. We can't stop the car. And so Superman's like, no, I'm gonna stop this car, save these people. So we have this heroic Superman moment where he like catches Lois. He's holding Lois, and he catches this car.
Right.
And this kind of like parallel of when he saves Lois in Superman 1, the movie, and catches the helicopter. And then she's like, you could have killed us. Why did you do that? And he goes, please, Lois, you know me better than that. and then leans in for a kiss, and she's like, okay, and then just starts making out with him. And at this point, you're like, oh, okay, we did a switcheroo. It's Tiffany pretending to be Lois, infiltrating the police. That's the reveal. Is that, that flower she's wearing is a mimic suit that allows her to take on the visage of.
I thought it was a memory, like a brain swap. Like you wear the pin and we can control you. You're still Lois.
Yeah.
But Tiffany's controlling your mind.
Yeah, no, it's Tiffany in a suit that makes her look like Lois.
It's like a suit.
Yeah,
like a Lois suit.
Yeah, and of course this is also like, oh my god, this reminds me of Superman Returns.
Yes.
With Parker Posey.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of as well.
You were supposed to actually cut the brakes.
Nah, Superman would know the difference between a fake scream and a real scream.
That's right. The day is saved, and the mayor's like, "Well done, Calvin, you're amazing." And the warden's like, "Yeah, oh." And then Superman introduces Lois. He's like, "This is my wife, Dad." And he's like, "Oh my God, like this is amazing. We'll have dinner together." And you're just like, "Oh man,
we have so much to catch up on."
Right. And
by the way, I'm his dad.
Right. Yeah. Oh, he is. He's like, "I'm his dad." Bleep bloop fart. And but of course we don't know this, but the reveal is that this is Tiffany pretending to be Lois, so it's not actually Lois meeting.
Right.
Yeah, she's just confused.
And he sees the flower on her brooch, and he's like, "The pleasure's mine."
Oh, I know what that is. I guess.
So
and Superman doesn't have any idea this person is not his wife.
No.
Well, you look like Lois. You smell like Lois.
No, she doesn't smell like Lois. He reveals that later, but we'll talk about that.
I see.
But it's like, my dad is alive, kind of, and I'm in this crazy magic realm, which is messing up my senses. My powers are all out of whack. I'm not like super sensitive as much as I used to be.
Yeah.
I know. There's one way to test if you're Lois. Let's bang.
Well, that's what she's trying to do. She's like, let's bang right now, and he's like, no, like wait, I'm just not my dad is alive. Like I'm freaking out.
We're in another realm. We're trying to get back to Earth,
we need
presumably.
to leave, and like I get
we're not supposed to be here.
Well, and I feel like.
But look, we're all in color here.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like if we were going to leave, Dad would have let us by now.
Right.
So I got to deal with that too. Meanwhile, they reveal, of course, that like Lois is still
right
with time.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah. Oh, so Superman talks to his dad, and he's like, listen, Dad, like, when are you going to let us out of here? And he's like, I was kind of like hoping to wait until dessert to talk about that, but like, never? But that's great. Like, look, your mate is here, and your dad, and you can help me run this place way better than it's being run right now, and plus I need the help, like, because this place is kind of like a shit show. And so
I don't
like,
notice it's kind of falling apart.
Right?
It's kind of like a dystopian friggin' robot.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also like then like Jor starts going off on like Lois, where he's like, honestly, like, is she great? Like, she's fragile and human and kind of like lame. I was kind of hoping you were gonna get like a badass or somebody who could like take your seat. Like, I don't know. It's just
like Titania or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of weird. And it's just like you're made of the the stuff of kings. Like, you should have like a queen type. Like, and he's like, I love her, Dad. What are you talking about? Like, he's like, look,
don't
she's
do
a cute
this, Dad.
pet, is what I'm saying.
Right. Like, we're going all like invincible on this shit. It's like, whoa, what?
What?
And it's just he's trying to like sow the seeds of doubt because he's trying to tell him like, I don't think she is all she says she is.
Well, because he can sense that she's actually not.
But he also doesn't know that Lois is not a doppelganger infiltrator.
No,
like,
but he
sees the thing and just
but
like
something feels off.
Something's off.
Yeah, but you're saying shit like that she's not like super powerful and crap.
Right, just say that she's a doppelganger or something.
Right.
Don't say that she sucks.
Because that's also true about when my real wife is discovered. Like, that's also going to be true about her, though.
And you're making me feel really bad.
Yeah.
But not as bad as the Warden, who, of course, is working with Time now. He's gone to Time. Time's like, don't worry, when I'm mayor...
That was easy.
Yeah, exactly. All I needed was another you. And so Time's like, don't worry, when I'm mayor, like, it's going to be running great. You're going to meet all kinds of different crazy people from different other realities. It's going to be awesome.
Right. And I'll treat you like a son. I won't replace you.
And,
like,
the Warden's immediately like,
yes.
He's having dinner with him.
Yeah, that's exactly...
That's it, I'm switching sides.
That's exactly what's happening.
Have a backbone, man.
I know. Well, he's never needed one.
I never encountered hardship or difficulty.
Yeah, that's what
He has
happens.
to save this universe all the time.
Yeah.
You feel like that would have like
Superman.
given him a little bit of character.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it didn't.
Yeah. So Ruth, the reporter, gets like a cutesy scene with like a bird that's also like a, the little birdie told me it's also an infiltration unit, whatever. It like learns that the leaves are going to strike soon, and so the Scottish captain of the guard has to like mobilize his forces and go deal with that and deal with the there's going to be a big insurrection that's taking place, and I gotta stop it. Meanwhile, they corner the nerd that also worked for Time, and they give him a hard time about that. Haha. And
Oh, come on, guys.
and so Superman's like, wait, well, because he won't give any information that they need, and so Superman's like, well, I'll just have Lois talk to him. You'll interview him the way you always do with like dignitaries and dictators and all kinds of other different like captains of industry, and you'll get to the bottom of this. And she's like, yeah, right, I will.
Sure.
And then he takes
That's a skill I absolutely have.
and I'm going to utilize right now. And when she fails at that, Superman takes the flower off of her
like, yeah.
and reveals that she's Tiffany. And he's just like, I was so preoccupied that I didn't think to doubt the identity of my own wife.
She's like, yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yep. And so, everyone's like, looms in over her, including the captain of the guard. It's like, well, let's ask her a couple of questions. And Superman's like, yes, namely, where's my effing wife?
Oh, that's what you wanted to ask? I was going to ask what she was doing later.
Well, you can do that on your own time, man. So, the insurrection has begun. The leaves are falling. Haha. Meanwhile,
Wouldn't that mean they're like dying? Isn't that bad?
no. It was they actually because they attack from the sky. Yeah.
Are they the Bat Riders?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so Tiffany arrives at Time's office, and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" And she's like, "Oh my God! Like the things are falling apart." And
Remember the thing that was keeping my appearance together that could easily be taken off of me?
Yeah,
it was taken off of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could
Also,
have
like,
bent over too much and it would have fallen off.
That's true. And he's like, "Well, how'd you escape?" And she's like, "Well, here's the thing about that." And Superman's right there.
I don't know how to tell you this.
In a
but,
big fun, like, this is Superman outside of Lex Luthor's window.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I'm very used to this.
Yeah.
Oh, look. A guy with a lot of money who thinks he can beat me because he's more rich than I am. So Superman is brought to the lair where they're keeping Lois, and he's like, "You can't have her! She's mine! I want her! I like her! She's cool!" Why? Anyway, I'm gonna push a button and release a big, crazy animal that's like a leopard, jaguar, dragon thing.
Right. And your powers are going wonky, so it may be a threat to you.
Yes. And Superman's like, "Don't do this. Like, this
Don't
is
make
like,
me kill this creature.
a waste of time." And so, yeah. Meanwhile, of course, like, Time's bugs are also
Breaking holes.
Because there's like a time bomb, that was loosed by the leaves that was made up of essentially an entire cadre of those like nanobot things that can mess up the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
The borders between realities.
And what is their objective? Just to destroy the border entirely by poking little holes in it everywhere, or to create gaps that people will go through and do something.
Their plan is to just destabilize it. Like I don't know what the citizenry understand is moot. We don't care about that.
Right.
Yeah, are the different holes leading to different realities? Like, or does it all go back to Earth?
Yeah, no. The idea is it'll allow us to like have trade and commerce with other different realities. And
okay, so it's going to open specific gateways.
Yes, gateways to other realities
that we can use and go
so
back
I open
and forth
a gateway
freely.
over there, it goes to like that reality.
Yeah,
but
and
a
over
gateway
there-
over here is a different reality.
Exactly.
Well, is it different realities or different places in our reality?
Right. Well, it's hard to tell. Like because
holes in space.
I think it's more like holes in space because like we're in another reality because we're in another dimension. But like I would assume that these are all planets within the galaxy of
that we
Earth.
know.
Yeah,
of,
considering that Krypton and
Earth are all in the same galaxy
that makes
as well.
sense.
Right.
So yeah, so
It's like wormholes or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But so the mayor begs the warden to intercede, and he's like, "No, we're going to change things for the good. We're going to fix things." And
I have a plan.
he's like, "Jesden said it's going to be okay." And the captain of the guard's like, "What? You daft buffoon! What are you listening to that madman for? Arrest him!" And I'm like, he doesn't talk like that the entire book.
Yeah, but
I
want
only
to
let
talk
it out
like
when
that
I get
now.
angry.
Right?
Yeah, it slips. My accent slips.
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, guys, let's what are you freaking kidding me?"
You're Scottish?
Yeah. Don't! No!
I like that it reacts like that because it's like, yeah, wait, what? You like switch sides for like no reason,
Yeah.
no reason at all,
Right?
And you're going all in on the exact opposite of everything you believed like 5 minutes ago.
Which could all be summed up by this moment of this like fat, stupid robot scratching his head he doesn't have, going, "This doesn't make any sense." Nothing makes sense anymore. What's even happening?
What is happening? This book has gone off the rails.
Yeah. So Superman attacks the dragon, and the dragon, of course, like the dragon smells Lois and it grabs Lois, and then Superman notices
Is it like an immediate damsel in distress kind of thing? Yeah. Like, oh, look, I'm a dragon.
I'm a genetically predisposed stereotype dragon that only does tropes and, no. Well, I mean, it is a trope, but not because of his genetics. It's
right.
We have to invent this new thing. Oh. Lois is wearing a perfume that makes this dragon go bonkers. And so the dragon grabs Lois because she smells like this pheromone that incidentally...
Oh no, this dragon's gonna fuck Lois!
They didn't put it on her?
No, she had it already on her. She was already wearing a perfume that she had in her purse.
Okay.
And so the dragon smells it coincidentally, and it makes him go nuts.
That is the exact scent that
makes this particular dragon go insane.
It's obsession.
Guaranteed to make all crazy animals go insane in any reality.
Mm-hmm. Like the ball of nanobots that's going to unmake reality.
Yeah.
Jor-El decides to intercede, galvanized by the heroism and selflessness of his real son. So he gets involved, and we see the bugs go off of the ball and onto him and start dismantling him.
Oh.
So he gives his life to save the world he created. Not unlike the last time he did that.
He's a bigger bug robot, so they see him.
They see him as a mother figure. No, it's just that he's willing them to do it. So the Warden sees his father being dismantled by bugs, and immediately heel turns back to the good side.
No, what have I done?
Like, no, and he just...
Who could have seen that coming?
Oh, right, yeah. In the last moment...
Father, no, that's okay. We have
my betrayal has caused the death of the person who the guy whose side I switched to definitely was trying to bring about.
Yeah, exactly.
How could I foresee
How could I have seen that coming, except in every movie that looks like this?
Well, thank God the Jor-El's robot didn't, see the ball of nanobots, see the Warden, and be like, I've got this, and just jumps into it.
So the Warden arrives just in time to watch his dad die, and then disperse his bugs,
right?
Because those are the things that dismantled him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
did they go immediately back to Terran-Hol's reality?
No, now they don't. Now they don't.
Why not?
Because he essentially reprogrammed them. As they were interacting with him, as they interfaced with his body, he was changing their coding and programming.
Interesting.
And downloading himself into them. And so,
of course,
which would be cool if you carried this over, because now he's nanobots or little bugs. So
that'd be
one
great
of them
if he could be like Oogie Boogie. Just wearing a skin suit?
Yeah, he's just puppeting. He's like, I'm your dad! No!
I start crawling all over his face and shit.
I was going to say he could bring one of his dads with him. Like a Jor-El little robot.
He already has a dad. It's a hologram.
That hologram
that is my real dad.
That dad has arrested development. It never evolves past the point of Krypton's destruction. This is a dad who lived, breathed, and ran a friggin' society.
Yeah, ran into the ground.
Yeah, this is my weird dad. This is my dad who kind of made some mistakes.
Yeah, this is like my dad, my divorced dad energy dad.
This is my prejudiced dad who doesn't like my human girl wife.
Yeah, but his heart grows 3 sizes that day, or 3,000 sizes, because there's 3 different, Anyway, so then while Superman's trying to deal with this dragon, because the real plot
that's still the dragon.
Yeah, it's only 3 pages.
Okay.
But he's like, honey, I have to apologize for going through your purse, and he takes out the perfume because he reasons that's what's making it crazy.
Right.
And he blasts a whiff of it into the dragon's face directly, which overloads its olfactory senses and drops Lois. Superman goes and catches her, and this causes the dragon to smash into the ground because it was chasing after Superman, and Superman turns and banks quicker and easier than the dragon can. They create this this weird captivity bubble, and the dragon gets lured.
So Superman uses it against the dragon. He's sees it, and he's like, let me go near that, and then I'll move at the last second, and it'll fly into the bubble and get caught.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And so it does, and now it's in there, and now it's trapped and doesn't have to die because Superman doesn't let things die.
Because I was gonna say why doesn't he just vaporize it with his heat vision? But it's because he doesn't want to kill it.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just blast through its chest like a Kryptonian bullet?
That's right, or an alien xenomorph, just blah. But so Superman catches Lois, obviously, and he saves her, and he's like, I'm so sorry it took me so long to find you. And she's like, I never doubted you. You're like, that's the interaction I was looking for.
Right.
I never doubted you. Did you kiss somebody else?
No. I only kiss your face.
That's a weird way that you said that.
It is indeed, isn't it? All's well that ends well.
Anyway.
So, the creature's saved. So the creature stopped. Just in time doesn't get his apocalypse, and Jor-El is dead. So everything's back where it belongs. And
except there's no mayor now.
Yeah, there's no mayor.
Yeah. Oh, so but the gateway that was torn open is open and perpetuating itself. So it's going to unmake reality anyway.
Because,
Because we stopped the bugs.
Jor-El failed.
Jor-El curtailed its total destruction. It's just going to
He
start.
delayed it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but this is the gateway, and Lois is like, well, let's go. And Superman's like, we can't leave. We have to close this fissure, otherwise, like all of the reality will be destroyed. And so Superman like holds the gate closed long enough for the little bugs that are now Jor-El to help seal it, because that's their job. Their job is to open it and close it. Like originally invented by Jor-El in the first place to help like close these holes, but they're being co-opted by Just in Time to do bad things.
Okay.
So now
he's restored like, their original program.
Well, and now he is their program. So he's like, hey, it's me. I'm a little bug now. I'm 1,000 little bugs. Let's go. And so while Superman holds it closed, it seals closed, and then there you go.
So he is 1,000 bugs, or he is in 1,000 bugs?
Right.
Like he's in every one of them? There's like 1,000 of him now?
We only see it demonstrated through one bug, but I presume that like,
it's like a distributed consciousness that speaks through one of them?
Yes. I don't know if it's like 1,000 individual Jor-Els or if it's all...
I think they're all Jor-El.
It's one Jor-El that allows all that controls all of them. Like
because like if one bot dies, it's not like, oh, I'm 1% less smart now.
Right. Oh, nor is it, oh no, an independent thinking Jor-El died over there.
That would be
Jor-Els
weird.
left and right.
Exactly. I cloned myself 1,000 times.
There's another. There's another.
It's neither of those things.
Okay. So when one of them is destroyed, he's just like, oh, well, I'm not in that one anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
But I can make more.
So each one of these bugs, though, is independently enough computing power to contain him? Like if all of them were destroyed but one, would he still be there?
Right. I assume that they each can house one consciousness.
Okay.
Because we see one of them.
So he's just jumping around between them all the time.
Right now we only see it demonstrated through one.
Right.
We just know that like multiple bugs did close the fissure and they're all working for him.
Right.
So
you're not meant to ask all these questions that I'm asking.
What? Do you see what this looks like? This is rated maybe PG because of the titillation early in the book.
Right.
But otherwise, this would be G-rated.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to be picked apart and thought about.
Oh, look, all the different races and planets are coming together to ask questions.
Yeah, they come with with the head of the press, Ruth, and she goes up to the Warden, and Superman's like, well, I guess you're not the Warden anymore. Like, we're not really, because we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out how to, allow for passage.
No, I'm still the Warden!
We're going to do the thing that Time said we should do.
Yes, but
my dad was wrong.
But we're going to control it and fix it and make it better, So they do, and so, but we don't see that ever again. It never comes up, so it doesn't matter.
So Time was right.
Oh yeah.
Jor-El was wrong.
Well, no, Time was right, but for the wrong reasons. Like it could fall apart. We just need to figure out how to make it better.
Superman.
So Jor-El gave up too soon on the idea of being able to translate between universes.
Yes.
Basically. He was like afraid.
Look, he says, I believe I'll be able to safely control the opening of new portals.
So because he allowed the bugs to consume his consciousness, he gained the power to safely open gateways and not destabilize.
So in time, those that wish to be allowed safe passage back to their original homeworlds will do so.
Okay.
Because the idea it's not so much that their worlds are destroyed, as much as their whole
they just fell in.
They fell in. They fell through it. That's why it's not like whole races. It's just parts
of pieces of civilizations.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
this is
it's a happy ending.
Yeah. So it was like a trap. It's like a trap that people fell into.
And they call it that. Yeah, they call it like a trap. Because people are not here of their own volition.
So Jor-El's kind of like a supervillain. He created this like nightmare prison world for people.
He accidentally created like a bear trap in the middle of
almost
reality.
The negative zone.
Yes.
And then he was like, nobody can leave.
Well, because if you do, we're going to poke a hole and it'll collapse everything. We'll all die.
Right.
I created this place so that my people would have a safe haven. And even though they're not here, I guess I still care that it exists.
Yeah, well, there's people now in it, and they will die.
If we break it.
Will they, or are you just afraid of losing power?
Right,
I kind of see where Time's coming from. If I was him, I'd be like, really? We can't leave, or we'll destroy the universe.
People can get out. Time is definitely not Kryptonian.
Right.
So he's one of these prisoners.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like you created this place. It's awfully convenient for you.
Right, but Time's methods are bad.
Right, underhanded.
They're underhanded, they're devious. He also was able to open fissures, and then the first thing he did was sell weapons.
Sell weapons through them, yeah. His goal is not to help people. His goal is to get rich.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
because if he really just wanted to leave, he could have left through one of those portals that he opened.
But why would I leave if I have power here?
Right. Plus, I got this buxom redhead that I can sleep with whenever I want.
That I don't care about.
I've already done everything. So,
everything?
I've been here a while.
Quite the imagination.
Maybe, all right, fine. Well, then you'll appreciate my pilgrimage out there. Maybe I'll come up with a couple of new tactics. Anyway, so Ruth, we set up like this. Ruth is like, oh, hello, Warden. Like, well, you want to give us a quote? Like, oh, maybe there'll be a romance between the two of them.
Absolutely not. You can't stand her.
I know. She looks like Yzma.
Yep.
Yes.
Superman shakes his brother's hand. He's like, welcome to the family and all that stuff like that. And it's cute because he's like, hello, brother. And the Warden's like, yes, hello, little brother. Haha. So Lois is like, this is weird. Wait, did you say you have a brother? Like, is he a genetic offspring? What's going on? And he's like, I'll explain it later. And then the bug is over there and it's like, oh, you must be my son's wife. Nice to meet you. Like, we should hang out. And she's like,
nice to meet you, weak flesh bag.
He's learned a lesson. His heart grew 3 sizes that day. So then, an insignificant amount of time later, they go back to Earth. So I assume that, they catch up and they talk, and then eventually they leave. And then they walk through the doorway, and Lois is like, well, that was fun. And Superman's like, more like emotionally exhausting.
Yep.
Well, and then he rips the door out so he can never go back and visit his brother ever again.
No,
he
so
rips
he
the
can
door out
take
so
it
he
home.
can bring it back to this Fortress of Solitude. He's like, this
Right.
shouldn't be in this crazy place.
Right.
And so we wrap up with how did that gun even get in the hands of a person in Metropolis anyway? It's because Just in Time was working with Lex Luthor. They say we've just received a transmission from the vendor this morning. And the vendor, of course, is Just in Time, who has been working directly with his doppelganger here, Lex Luthor, and says Infinite City Industries' new CEO, who's the nerd that, Just in Time didn't regard or used or whatever, he is dismantling their weapons division and instead is working on perfume. Because perfume, of course, was the downfall of the beast.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
The spray is mightier than the ray.
There we go. Good enough.
Okay.
And Lex Luthor's like that matters.
Weird ending.
Yeah. Well, it's Lex was...
Yeah, Lex was connected
worse
to it.
things could have happened.
Right.
And yes, we could maybe set up that Lex has access to Infinite City technology or something.
Interesting.
No one will ever
Lex
bring
is
up,
I'm sorry, who are you? How are you? Why are you interrupting?
Yeah, get out. So that's it. Infinite City. It's a weird book. But the story, if you just wrote down the things that happen or the plot things that happen, it's the most simple thing.
It's very simple, yeah.
And
you've seen it 1,000 times.
Yes, but not like this.
Right.
I suddenly realize where I've seen the robot's face before. It's the Iron Giant.
Yes, it looks like the Iron
it definitely
Giant.
looks like
Yes,
the Iron
yes, it
Giant.
does.
I was trying to place it the entire time.
Fair. Yeah,
There was a character who I almost remarked earlier looked like the Iron Giant, but we moved on. Just one of the Tufts or
Yes.
whatever I was like, that's kind of like an Iron Giant character.
Right? I love how it looks. That's the thing that first struck
Very
me.
distinct.
When I found this hardcover, I remember just opening up and being like, whoa, this looks crazy. I'm going to buy it sight unseen.
Right.
And then I read it and I really had a good time reading it. I was like, this is really fun. And especially because there wasn't a Jor-El before when this was happening. So this is your Jor-El. Superman gets to reconnect with his dad. And that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But
This is not in continuity, right?
yeah, no, it is. Or at least it was meant to be.
This is what happened to Jor-El in continuity?
I mean, no one ever refers to it
That's
again.
insane.
So we could say that sometime between Rebirth and Dawn of DC, no.
Right.
But really, sure, why not? There's nothing in it that doesn't really contradict anything. Jor-El made a backup AI of himself and also created a pocket reality. And this crazy shit happened in it.
Yeah, I guess
and
it's
he's got
not
a frog
real
robot
Jor-El.
that
It's
also is
an
him.
AI version of Jor-El.
yeah, that
He's
made
saying
a
it's
Superman
Jor-El,
brother.
but anytime you copy your consciousness into something, they're gonna be like, well, I'm me. I'm Jor-El.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't have to be actually Jor-El.
No, it doesn't have to be
Right.
physically Jor-El. That guy also showed up, and he's Mr. Oz.
Yeah, and he could have copied himself into 1,000 robot bodies. This is just one of them.
This is one. I am many of Jor-El.
More of them can
I am
show up.
Legion. No, that would be really messed up.
Once
Jor-El
you've
is-
established that it's possible,
Well, he's
any
a-
author
he's in
can
the-
do it
he's in
later.
the
Well,
bug.
now they changed it.
Now he can fly around and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something there, and
It's just weird.
It's
a weird fate for Jor-El
it's
to be
weird.
put into this robot
it's weird,
body.
Who greenlit this?
It's like it's not in canon. It seems
Oh,
like
no.
it's not supposed to be in canon.
And it was one shot.
yeah.
This came out beginning, middle, and end.
Yep.
No, because thank God. Can you imagine issue 1 of this? People going what the no?
yeah,
You got to trick them into reading the whole damn thing.
Yeah, they shoot their shot.
That's right, they do.
well, it's definitely
Your favorite character, Just in Time.
when the mayor saw Superman for the first time, saw the logo, he didn't like cartoonishly have a steam whistle go off in his head, or his eyes bug out, or oil shoots everywhere.
It wasn't animated.
You're my son! You're my actual son!
If it was animated, I could guarantee we got a steam whistle out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it would have been full of sound effects. It would have been embarrassing. Absolutely, are you kidding me? But I mean, so if you're a fan of a weird, off-kilter animation that is like your friend's favorite version of a cartoon, you're gonna enjoy this. There you have it, Superman Infinite City. You've never read it. Check it out if you have a chance. I mean, like, statistically speaking, you haven't
definitely
read it.
haven't, yeah.
It's like not in print very much, if ever. I don't know where you'd collect it. It's
from 20 years ago.
It's from 20 years ago.
So
and
most of our audience wasn't bored when it came out.
No one read it when it came out. And so you're not going to read it 20 years after it didn't come out according to your own purview.
Right.
And if it's in print, it's in the comments down below. You should definitely check out a copy. But otherwise, you could probably find it on the shelves somewhere. That's where I found. I literally found it at a comic book store that was having a sale. It was $5.
There you go.
I definitely got it for the right price because it's nuts. I don't know. Maybe it's in the app. There's a DC Digital app. Maybe it's there. If not, you would be. Yeah. I don't know.
Good luck. If not, good luck.
Good luck in your journey. But I do suspect that perhaps one day we'll see a suspiciously blonde Superman appear from parts unknown, and people will go, "What?" See you next week. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading.
Now, who would steal from us?
I don't know. I've certainly never done multiple episodes of shows that have pitched ideas that I've seen happen.
That's ridiculous.
I've certainly never seen us do a book that suddenly and suspiciously is referred to in massive stories.
Right.
Ever. It's never happened. We have no influence over the industry. We are just we're just three blips.
Well, I've yet to see a predator on a freaking pirate ship.
Yeah, well,
that's the one thing, and it's all because Tom King won't let it happen. He's like, don't!
He's threatening all the other authors.
Maybe he's protecting you.
He could be.
I got your back, Sal.
He's like, don't do it. I want Sal to do it. Sal's got that.
Sal's got that.
That's his story.
That's Sal's shitty idea.
Thank you.
That's Sal's ship to sink.
Can I get a book?
No. You have to earn it, like I did. This cover's insane.
It is insane.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. I remember seeing it and being like, what?
Yeah, you're looking at a movie, my friend.
And I flip it over and I'm like, what?
What? That just raises more questions.
Why is there a weird signer with a dog, like Jafar on top of it?
I thought it looked like Jafar too. I didn't want to say it because I'm like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But like, why does it look like Jafar?
Don't far. I don't know.